それではパネルディスカッションに移ります。正面スクリーンに翻訳ソフトを活用した同時通訳を表示いたします。多少の時差や完全な通訳と言えない部分もございますが、あらかじめご了承ください。パネルディスカッションの第1部は、Evolution of Future Earth Observation Systems and Technologies 将来の地球観測システムと技術の展望と題して、海外より衛星プロバイダーや政府機関の皆様をパネラーとしてお迎えし、議論をしたいと思います。ここからはモデレーターのレステックソリューション事業部亀井さんに進行をお願いします。亀井さん、よろしくお願いします。Let's move on to our panel discussion. I will now hand it over to our moderator, Mr. Kamei.
Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining our 50 years anniversary symposium. My name is Toshi Kamei. I am a senior expert of RESTEC. I have been working for RESTEC over 25 years, and I'm very honored to be serving as a moderator of this panel discussion. And after a very excellent Japanese speech, now it's time to talk with international partners. RESTEC has many important partners, international partners. And today we have invited 4 colleagues from our partners. And we supposed to have 4 panelists in person, but unfortunately, 2 of them couldn't come. So we have 2 panelists here and 2 panelists joining online. And let me introduce our excellent panelists. First of all, in person, Dr. Tanita S.p.A from GISDA. GISDA is a space agency in Thailand, and Dr. Tanita is Director of Strategy Alliance and Business Development Office at GISDA. She is responsible for fostering the product and services, international collaborations, and further missions through a global business value chain. So you seem to have a very heavy responsibilities. And next, Dr. Alex Ko from Pixxel Space Technologies. He is a sales director in the Asia-Pacific region. Pixxel launches and operates hyperspectral satellites and provides its observation data. Dr. Alex, he started his career with the Singapore government and moved to the private sector. And according to his bio, he's an avid runner. So did you run this morning? And next, I'd like to introduce online panelist, Dr. Adrian Mercado from 3V-Geomatics. He is Chief Executive Officer of 3VZ, and 3VZ is a company specializing in INSA analysis, based in Canada. Adrian founded 3VG in 2007, so he's a founder and CEO of 3VG. He is joining online from Canada. Thank you very much for joining in very late evening. And last but not least, Dr. Giorgio Apponi from e-GEOS. We are planning to invite Dr. Milena Lelario. She's CEO of e-GEOS, but she couldn't come due to her health condition. So Giorgio will be replacing Dr. Milena. And he is joining from Rome, Italy. So Giorgio, thank you very much for joining in very early morning. Okay, let us move on to the first topic. I will explain purpose of this panel discussion. So could you show my slide? Okay, this is the title of this panel discussion and purpose. The title of this panel is Evolution of Future Earth Observation System and Technology. And the topic of this symposium is 2050 and beyond. So we like to talk about not only the current situation, but also the future perspective. And this is the purpose to inspire the participants to imagine what Earth observation systems and technologies will be like in 2050 and beyond, contributing to a sustainable society. And I think not all of you know about our partners. We have three private companies and one government agency. And first, I'd like ask them to introduce their activities and their vision for the future. So could you go to the next slide, please? Can you go to the next? Yes, so this is my first question. What does your organization do? And what vision does your organization have for the future and Earth observation systems and technologies? So I'd like to invite our panelists one by one to introduce their activities and vision. So first, I'd like to invite Adrian from 3VG from Canada. Adrian, are you ready?
I'm ready, yes.
Thank you. So floor is yours.
Great. So it's a great honor for me to be here today. When I began my career 25 years ago, I started with RadarSat International, which then became part of MDA. And the very first project that I worked on was mosaicing multiple RadarSat-1 images together of different countries. And our partner with that project was RESTEC. So it's great to be here for the 50th anniversary. So thank you very much for having me, and apologize I couldn't be there in person. So 1.5 years ago, 3VG became part of Orica Geo-Solutions. What the Geo-Solutions is a collection of technologies and different companies that have come together, all share the same purpose of monitoring geohazards or ground displacement or infrastructure movement. Some of the monitoring is done by instrumentation, so in situ, and some of the monitoring is done remotely or remote sensing. So that's ourselves and Ground Probe all use radar technology to monitor movement remotely. So if you go to the next slide, thank you. So with 18 years ago, I co-founded 3VG, and the purpose of the company was we saw the potential of INSAR monitoring, and we wanted to share it with a much broader audience. We thought we could have a much more positive impact on the world by expanding the applications. Previously, INSAR was used primarily as a research, or it was used, oil and gas was a big early adopter. But we saw the potential of what we could do with INSAR for a much broader application base, and we could benefit a great number of people with the technology. For those who don't know or are not familiar with the technology, we take repeated images from a radar satellite or a synthetic aperture radar satellite or from a ground instrumentation, and we can compare those images and we can see tiny movements down to millimeters. So what we do typically at 3VG is we analyze this data from 800 kilometers in space, and we can see tiny little millimeter movements of buildings. In the example you see here, this is Vancouver, and you can see on the right-hand side some subsidence near a railroad station. In Vancouver right now, we're monitoring for a company that's digging a large subway tunnel, and we're monitoring to see if there's any substance associated with that tunnel on the buildings nearby, and what they're expecting us to do down to a millimeter to see if there's any changes there. And that's one of the applications that we typically work with. If you can move to the next slide, please. So one of the big challenges that comes with INSAR monitoring is vegetation. And so vegetation, because we're so sensitive to tiny movements, the vegetation will cause noise. And generally speaking, with most satellites, you can't monitor where there is vegetation. So in this example here, we were able to use some long wavelength ALOS data to monitor ALOS2 data to monitor an area where there is some displacement. So without the display ALOS2 data, we wouldn't be able to monitor in this area. Most of the world, in fact, we'd not be able to monitor. And that's where our relationship with RESTEC began. So we were able to use ALOS2 data and hopefully in the future ALOS4 data, and use it and expand the application of INSAR greatly. Next slide, please. So here's an example. We had a customer who had a great deal of ground movement issues near an access road. And so that road was a critical piece of infrastructure, but they didn't understand the extent. And that going in the field was very expensive, and that they could only look at very small areas. And in this case, we were able to use, if you move to the next slide, ALOS2 data to very detailed. We can map where the geohazard was, and we can see the extent and give the user a very good idea how they can deal with the problem. Should they move the road? Are there embankments that they can put in place? But without that data, the user would have been blind to where the real motion was and where the risk was to their people and to their infrastructure. So it's a great case of using JAXA's ALOS2 satellite where no other technology. So we combined our INSAR technology with the ALOS2, and we were able to bring a great solution to the customer. Again, what we really the strength is that we can expand beyond these very narrow monitoring areas, cities or maybe cleared areas where there's no vegetation, to the rest of the world. And we can again have a very positive impact. Next slide, please. So as a company, what we've been doing for the last 18 years is we've been pushing the technology as far as we could, and to see how we can improve the monitoring, how we can keep people safer. And this is a really key part of what we do. A traditional way that people are using INSAR is to use permanent targets. So monitoring a single target on the ground for a long period of time. Now, the real world isn't like that. The ground changes, vegetation's there. In Canada, we get snow often. And these conditions lead us to it can really limit the impact of INSAR. What we developed was a method of non-persistent scatterers or temporary targets where we're able to monitor up to a point, and if something blocks that target for a period of time, or that target changes, we won't be able to monitor until it becomes stable again, but then we can continue the monitoring, greatly expanding what we can do in the area that we cover. That's the single biggest limitation, is vegetation or other changes where you're just not able to get reliable INSAR results. And so that, combined with the ALOS2, is we're able to expand where we can monitor a great deal. The next slide, please. So here's another example. On the left, you have our technique. Oh, I think it's animated. I'm not sure if the animation works here, but over time, if you are only monitoring with permanent targets or persistent targets, you lose coverage. Everything changes eventually. So if you're able to adapt to those changes, then you can still monitor most of an area. This is a mining site, and as if the image on the right typically would show as you move every month, you'd have a decrease in coverage. Every single image, in fact, you'd have a decrease in coverage. So we're able to overcome some of those issues. And continuing to push INSAR technology is our vision of the future. But really what we would like to do is change the way it's applied. When I started the company, it would take to generate an INSAR result with high accuracy, it would take a month to analyze data. Now we're able to do that in half an hour or even less. So what can we do with that potential with our increased coverage with L-band satellites is we would really like to expand to well beyond the customers that are there now. Right now we're relying on a single large customer to pay for an entire project, and there aren't that many of those customers. But we think that the benefits are really great for a larger number of people. So if we can expand that and everybody shares some of those costs, we can find a way to really benefit of society a great deal more than we are today. And that's where we're pushing our technology. That's where we're pushing our company. That's our vision for the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Julian. It's very great analysis result we have seen, and we understand that you have very high technology specializing in interferometric SAR analysis, and you have mentioned ALOS-2 a couple of times. While we have several options for SAR satellites, like we have Sentinel-1, we have Synspective, we have QPS. Do you have any preferences for using SAR data for your analysis?
It really depends on the application. When we're looking at an area without vegetation, the X-band satellites are very powerful, so TerraSAR-X or Cosmos SkyMed. But when we have vegetation, certainly ALOS-2 or ALOS-4 are the preferred ways. The biggest difference is the resolution. Even with NISAR coming online soon, it won't have the resolution that you can get from the ALOS satellites, and that is a big difference to identify smaller risks for our customers.
Thank you very much. I hope ALOS-2, ALOS-4 will contribute to your services. And now, next I'd like to invite Dr. Giorgio Aponi from e-GEOS. Giorgio, are you ready?
Yeah, hi. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Great. So the floor is yours.
Okay, I will share the presentation. Yep. First of all, thank you. Of course, it's an honor to be invited to this event, this celebration of the 50 years of RESTEC. And sorry again, we apologize also on behalf of my CEO. And we couldn't be in person, was our initial planning. Anyway, I'm responsible for defense intelligence and Cosmos SkyMed activity in e-GEOS. And briefly, e-GEOS is a company also controlled by the Leonardo Thales Industrial Group and the Italian Space Agency. And also we control entirely a company in Germany called GAF. Let me give you some. This is an important aspect. We have several partners. And by the way, let me stress the important that one of the main important here is RESTEC in Japan. See, we started cooperation now starting 1 year ago, and we have a very successful cooperation in place, and we expect to do in the future more. But also let me also focus that we have an activity with GISDA. We have a ground station installed in GISDA premises for Cosmos SkyMed reception. So I'm very happy to have two also GISDA in this panel discussion invited by you, by RESTEC. We also have a presence worldwide in US, South America, Australia, and of course in Europe. Our activity now is based on a multi-source data set. So we are now in our programs, in our solution to customer, we provide not only imagery, but of course, solution and information extraction based on either SAR and optical data set. And in that case, of course, for SAR, we have been using since the beginning of ALOS and Japanese solution integrated with Cosmos SkyMed, with RadarSat, with TerraSAR and other type of data. On the optical side, now we have experience with other third-party missions and with the called Maxar, and when we also with the Airbus solution. But our activity is to integrate all this multi-source information to generate maps and reports. In fact, our activity is focused to provide different solutions for different vertical markets. I see here with a scratch summarizing the major of this solution. On the left side, we have the C-on-C platform to support maritime surveillance and maritime analysis. Brain, that is specific for defense intelligence. AgriGeo, that is a platform to support activity in the agricultural area and management. Aware for infrastructure monitoring. MapCI for risk and disaster management. Just a brief information that, of course, as a company, also controlled by Italian Space Agency, we are managing the Cosmos SkyMed program that now is represented by 2 satellites of the first generation and 2 other satellites of the second generation. By the way, next year, there will be the launch of another unit of the Cosmos second generation, followed by another one in another 1 year from in 2027. So we expect to have entire constellation of this very precise and accurate solution of radar data. But again, we are integrating this Cosmos SkyMed with the other type of solar emission for SAR. Oh, sorry, should be. Oh, I think I skipped 1 slide. Okay. Now the important challenge is, of course, not only using the satellite data, but to introduce the concept of artificial intelligence tools. We have developed now a series of detectors based on artificial intelligence that can either ingest optical and SAR info data imagery to extract in a very automatic and fast way information. And this is an important factor for the future. The time is essential to take a decision and to provide our customer an important tool for having the evaluation of the situation of their area of interest and their application. So deep learning, machine learning algorithms has been now under development. We started the 3 years ago. Now we are even increasing this capability, and this is part of our platform. All of these platforms are using this type of capability based on artificial intelligence. And we have developed what we call the artificial intelligence factory for that scope. Oh, that. Okay, I brief just information about the major platform for the specific vertical market. C-on-C, as I mentioned, is devoted for maritime surveillance services. The intention is to provide vessel detection for its oil spill detection, also control of airborne and traffic for illegal traffic as well, and many other activity, including also the maritime intelligence and the control of the entire area worldwide of the ocean and the sea. The importance is this: we can provide either a solution at premises of our customer or provide the service generated from our company in Italy. Brain is a specific platform for intelligence, for defense. And the scope here is to monitor or control activity on borders or any critical infrastructure, and provide our customer, our defense customer, the latest information and update of what we call activity-based analysis. And they can control the area. And we are again also here using both radar and optical. with many tip-and-queue activity also that emerging and multiple tasking of different satellites. AgriGeo is devoted, of course, in agriculture. In such case, our platform is supporting the extraction information of multi-temporal analysis of fields and provide information about the extension of the inventory of the area covered parcel covered by agricultural crop monitoring and also the yield monitoring. It is a very now stable activity provided to many ministries of agriculture worldwide, in particular also in Europe. Aware is devoted for the infrastructure. This is mostly based on interferometry and based on analysis on using radar, as also mentioned by previous presentation of my panelist from Adrian. This is based also to control and to monitor stability and ground motion, as well as any infrastructure like bridge, buildings, and any other areas, pipelines or connection that can be subject to subsidies and movement in a very few, very detailed aspect, even few centimeters can be detected in changing of this activity. And last but not least is the disaster management, risk management. We are now leading an important consortium worldwide in Europe for European Commission, and we are supporting 24 hours, 7 days, a continuous staff for monitoring disaster or other events. And we have a rapid response to provide rapid mapping, disaster also damage assessment, and evaluation of the situation in any situation like floods, earthquake, or other situation of disaster. This activity we have provided, as mentioned here, under Copernicus, more than 5,000 maps. We cover more than 40 countries. And we are leading this consortium now since about almost 10 years. It is a very important and more very active solution that we are supporting civil protection worldwide. Consider that even this European program, there are many civilian agencies worldwide that can ask to our European Commission to also provide information on any disaster happening, occurring everywhere in the world. And we have this activity now controlled by our people, our team that is supporting this activity. So I will stop here at this stage. Thank you again. We will come back.
Thank you very much, Giorgio. You can cover a very wide area of applications and very wide technology, upstream and downstream. What is your core competence of e-GEOS? What is the main product or main services or maybe main technology?
Yeah, now, as mentioned, initially we were covering more the distribution of images, generating images from satellites like Cosmos SkyMed. Now, since we can mention about 10 years, we evolved more in solution provision. So in different areas, in different verticals, as I mentioned before. And now our expertise and our vision is to provide a more advanced solution for that. And we have introduced artificial intelligence technology to support this activity. So in that case, we are more now creating as a geospatial information solution for our customer.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Giorgio.
Thank you.
Okay, now time to move on to the panelists in person. So I'd like to invite Tanita from GISDA. You can come onto the podium to make your presentation.
Konnichiwa, watashi wa Tanita desu. I'm Tanita from GISDA, Thailand. It's my pleasure to present today. And thank you, RESTEC, for inviting me to join a very important event. And congratulations for your great success for 50 years of RESTEC. Okay, so my presentation, I would like to introduce my organization to you. My organization is GISDA. We are a public organization or government organization. We are working under Ministry of Higher Education, Research and Innovation. So our mission is to lead the space technology and also Geo-Informatics solution for our better future and also for our people. And for our organization, we need to work for the entire space value chain. So for the space technology, including the Geo-Informatics application and solution. And if we combine the mission of the JAXA and RESTEC together, it will be the GISDA. But we for our organization, maybe smaller than JAXA and RESTEC. We have staff around 300 staff. Is the permanent staff, and also the temporary staff around 200. So it's not quite a big organization. So we need to engage more collaboration for our organization. For GISDA, now we operate the satellite, Thailand Earth Observation Satellite. We have our first satellite, the name is Taichot, for more than 15 years ago. And okay, it's coming. Maybe I can move to... For the flight mission, we work on the satellite operation for the Geo-Informatics solution and application. And now we have a new mission to boost the space economy in our country and also for the ASEAN region. We need to have the space law, space policy, and also the space regulation to encourage and comply with our new technology. And the most important one for the capacity building for our people is also our mission that to provide the knowledge and also the technological skill for the organization in Thailand. So for our mission, we work for the entire space value chain. We have the research and development for the outer space, for the space situation awareness, and also the space traffic management, including the space weather, that's really important for the space technology in the near future. And we have our space infrastructure for the AIT, ground receiving station, and also for the space lab. And for the data that we get from the upstream part, we use it for the downstream application. And the, all of the stream, we have the capacity building activity to enhance the people to working on this technology. Yes, this is our satellite. Now we have the Taichot and TR2 on the orbit. For the TR2, it provides very high resolution. It is a 50 centimeter resolution, and we encourage not only the Thai people, but also for our region in the ASEAN and also for the Japan to use this data for your application. And the new coming is the TR2A. It will launch the beginning of the next year for the 1 meter resolution. And next is the example of the image of the TR2 in Tokyo, Japan. It's very high resolution, so we can see very clear detail in the urban area. Next is the space infrastructure. That's I already mentioned that we have the ground receiving station, we have the AIT and space lab and space research in our community in Sriracha, Chonburi. It's near the Pattaya city. It's another site for the space ecosystem in Thailand. But our main office is in Bangkok. And this is for the downstream part. We have a lot of the platform provide for the public. So for the mission of the GISDA, not only develop the platform, application and solution for the government organization in Thailand, but we need to provide the data for the public. It means that for the people and also for the educational institute can also use our data. We have open platform, for example, the Avagas. It is for the data catalog for the satellite, and we also have the S.p.A platform that we encourage the young generation and also for the technical people to develop the application on the top of the platform because we provide all the data, Geo-Informatics data on the platform and encourage them to build their own application. And for the solution, we have the platform for the agriculture, disaster, environment, and now we focus on the carbon credit from space and also the water management and urban planning. This all of our mission. And for the next plan of the future of the GISDA, we plan to have the new program for the satellite constellation program. For this program, we have the series of the satellite. We will not build or design one by one satellite. We think that it's not enough to provide the data for us. So we have like a group of the data in the near future. So right now we have TR2, TR2A, and the coming one, we already have the project for the TR3 for the shortwave infrared sensor. And the next step, we will have the TR4 for the mid-wave infrared, another sensor that we need to implement with the application and solution. And also plan to have the SAR data for the group of the TR5 and also TR6 for the very high resolution. This is for the future of the constellation program for Thailand. And to work with the future constellation, we need a lot of things. This is one important thing that we need, the National Space Master Plan, the Space Act, and also the regulation for the, to comply with the standard and also to ensure the security in our country. And for the future, we try to have more research and development on the space situation awareness, space traffic management. We had the research team to working in the space lab and also the space weather to monitor the orbit determining and also the space object, and also try to develop the software to control the satellite. And for the in the past of the application, now we engage the GeoAI to use in our application. And for example, for the agriculture, it's not only to provide the satellite data in the regional level, but we have the mobile application for the farmer to detect and to see what happened in their farm. It's very convenient for them to link with the satellite data and also the climate data to monitor their farm. And we also have a lot of plan for the natural resources and also the disaster monitoring. And carbon as large is one of our main goals because it's in the global agenda. And for the capacity building, we work with a lot of international partners. This is quite important for us because we need more collaboration, technology transfer, and Japan is one of our partners that we would like to work with to improve our professional and technical skill. And we need more collaborative program for our young generation. And for the future, we have the mission for the, another 5 missions for the future. For the first one is for space for the better living environment. Focus on the solution from the Geo-Informatics technology, equipped with the technology, the other sensor that can provide more intelligent data for us. And also we move to the space ecosystem that would like to link with the space business to make the Earth observation not only the application for the government, but also for the private company, and the startup can join us to develop the program for them. And also we would like to work with the ASEAN as the ASEAN hub for the data and also the intelligent platform. And the last one, we also looking forward to the outer space. Is also important that need to have the group of the research and development of the space situation awareness or space traffic management, including the possibility of the spaceport in Thailand. That's for our mission. So the key action that Thailand needs to working on this to empower the space ecosystem and also the space infrastructure value-added products is very important to drive the country development and also the space ecosystem in Thailand. And for the collaboration with the RESTEC is very important because we see a lot of possibility and opportunity to work together. So I think for the RESTEC can work with us not only for the technology, but also for the space economy to link with the private company and also the startup and initiate the new innovation and new technology for Thailand and also for the ASEAN country. So in my conclusion, yes, the partnership is very important. So we need to have more program and collaboration to increase the innovation ecosystem for Thailand and also for the ASEAN region. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tanita. I'm very happy to explore more opportunities to have more collaboration with GISDA because Thailand is one of my favorite countries. I like to explore more opportunity to visit Bangkok. And you mentioned about future ambitious plan of TEOS, and you mentioned that the TEOS 5 is a series of satellite. Do you have any specific band for TEOS 5 series?
Yes, now we plan to have the X band for the SAR satellites, but maybe it's still in the plan. So when we move to another year, technology is changed, maybe we move to another sensor, it's also possible, but we start with the X band.
Okay, thank you. So it's very flexible. Okay, next I'd like to invite Dr. Alex Ko from Pixxel. Alex, floor is yours.
Konnichiwa. My name is Alex Ko, Sales Director for Pixxel. Pixxel, we are an Indian-founded company. The company is based off in Bangalore itself. We are involved in the whole vertically integrated end-to-end space ecosystem. Meaning to say, we actually manufacture our own satellites. We manufacture satellites for our customers. And all the way at the other extreme end, we develop insights for our customers and, of course, hyperspectral data. Our agenda, very shortly, is to explain to you what we do at Pixxel, our mission, how we do it, and where we think the way ahead would be for the EO and remote sensing industry. Like I mentioned, one mission that we hold very closely to our heart is to monitor planet Earth. Our mission is to monitor, detect, and predict what is happening on Earth and to make Earth a better place for everyone. As part of that, we are building the world's highest resolution hyperspectral constellation, which shall ensure global coverage at an unprecedented hyperspectral resolution of 5 meters and up to 250 bands itself. This will ensure daily coverage, and we are doing that in a very compact form factor. This slide would depict where we are at this moment. As of this moment now, Pixxel actually have 6 satellites up in space, up and running. These 6 satellites are providing us with visible near-infrared data from 470 nanometer to 900 nanometer, so at the visible near-infrared range. But we are not stopping at 6. The team is now working towards our next constellation of satellite, of what we term honeybee satellites. These honeybee satellites will further enhance the spectrum collection, right? From 470 to 2500 nanometer. So this would be looking towards the shortwave infrared, and we are planning 18 satellites at this moment. But like what Dr. Tanita actually mentioned, it's flexible. We could increase, we could decrease, depending on use cases. This slide is just to depict very quickly the difference that I've mentioned. The Firefly satellites are operating at the visible near-infrared, of which we have 6 satellites up in space now. Our next constellation of satellite, the Honeybee, of which we are planning for 18 of those, will be operating from 470 to 2500 nanometers. So why hyperspectral, all right? I think one main reason and the unique value proposition of hyperspectral, it's really in detecting information that's not available to the naked eye because of the number of fidelity of spectral bands that's available. So we are able to pick up even more information than traditional multispectral or RGB image. And in this, to be very good use case for application that I'll show subsequently. So another breakdown, right? For multispectral, in the blue band, we actually have one main band. But with hyperspectral, you actually have 8 blue bands within blue component itself. This potentially means that's 7 times more information that you can read from the data itself. And if we move that further along to the near infrared band, that difference is even more pronounced. From 2 in multispectral to 49 in hyperspectral. So potentially there's so much more data available. We have also make it easier for partners and customers to make use of hyperspectral data by presetting band configuration. So if you are looking for example, a water use case, you could go for a preset water configuration. Subsequently, if you are looking to explore rare earth minerals, for example, if you're looking for gold, you could go for a rare earth element band set. This is our belief in making data fit for purpose. Right? One unique value proposition, like I mentioned, is in the data point itself. In hyperspectral, you get so much more data, but the other value proposition that Pixxel brings about is in our manufacturing cost. It's very economical, it's very sustainable because we are operating at a smaller form factor. And the speed at which we could develop those satellites, it's 2 times as fast. So what's a satellite company without showing some images, right? So these images were acquired from our 5-meter Firefly satellites themselves, depicting soil moisture and vegetation health condition over India itself. Next, I would like to dwell into some of the application where hyperspectral data would be very well suited for. So it'd be in areas in terms of agriculture, where you're monitoring plant health, right? In forestry, if you are looking to detect or monitor growth of forests across time. In environmental use cases like biomass studies, mining exploration, like I mentioned, I have a couple of inquiries looking for gold across an area of interest. Energy use cases, detecting methane gas leak or oil leak, and of course, in governmental use cases in terms of disaster relief or D&I use cases. So this is an illustration over Australia itself, where with hyperspectral data, you'll be able to pick up the chlorophyll content and biomass and yield production over an area, highlighting areas of concern or mitigation. Another example, like I mentioned, it's regrowing that forestry. This area were impacted by forest fire, and we actually help the customer to monitor the regrowth of the forest themselves using the hyperspectral data. Likewise, in terms of water use cases, picking up harmful algae bloom in river or lakes, and to ensure that those water is not overly impacted. One use case over Japan itself was this image that we actually acquire, right? So water pollution after the earthquake impacted the water itself with mud and iron content. With our hyperspectral data, we were able to determine and analyze the level of containment within that area itself. So this concludes the end of my presentation. But with that being said, I think hyperspectral from space is a very new technology. And like what the panels among us have mentioned, I think there's a lot of partnership that has to be done and undertaken itself. And we definitely look forward to working very closely with RESTEC.
Thank you very much, Alex. I like the name of your satellite, Honeybee. Who named it?
So it's really very aligned to the mission, right? Firefly, Honeybee, and looking after the environment. So it's a collaborative from the whole office, from the whole company itself. But I think the name reflects our mission.
Yes, as you mentioned, hyperspectral has more possibilities, more opportunities. So we like to continue our collaboration to expand, to distribute, to provide the services based on the hyperspectral data.
We look forward to it.
Okay. Now I'd like to go to the second round of questions. Could you show my slide, my last slide? However, it's only 7 minutes remaining in this panel discussion. Japanese are very punctual, so I feel like a very strong pressure from the audience and my colleagues. So I was going to ask you to answer my second question in what I told you is 5 minutes. However, we only have 7 minutes left. So I'd like you to answer my second question in 1 minute. Okay, let us go to the opposite order. So I'd like to ask Tanita from JISDA for the second question. Second question is about more tangible activities for future. Could you show the slide? Yes, this is my second question. What future Earth observation systems and technologies should we look out for? And how do you plan to expand your company's strengths in the field of Earth observation?
Okay, thank you for your question. And I think for the future, if we look ahead for the 10 year and more than 10 years, it's really difficult now because the technology change very fast. And for the Thailand and JISDA, we think that we need to work for the multiple satellite operation, and we need to transform our mission for the data provider or satellite operation to the space enable in Thailand and also linked to the ASEAN country. And for the technology, I think that when we have a lot of satellite and a lot of sensor, we have the big data, and we need the AI cloud-based system to process the data. This is in the beginning of the next 5 years or 10 years that we need the data. And after this, we think that we should have the AI onboard processing. So when satellite come to our country, we get the result of the data, the output, not only the raw image anymore. So we can get the data that have already processed, and we can use the data immediately to respond for the action and decision making. So for the data, it's come to us very frequently. For example, it's not only in the daily basic, maybe within the half an hour, we can get the data to process this. And my second point is for the space ecosystem. As I mentioned on my presentation, we need to work with our international partner to empower our technology development and innovation, and including our people. We need the program and the project that we need to work together. So in this part, for the Japan, RESTEC or JAXA can help us to link with the partner in Japan for the private company and also the research institute to build the space economy for our region. Yes.
Thank you very much. You can join our reception today after this event. So you have more opportunities to network with Japanese partners. Thank you very much. And now next, Alex.
Thank you for the question. I think from Pixxel's perspective, there are a couple of things that we'll be doing in the way ahead. Definitely one is having more assets up in space, covering a wider spectrum so that it's more versatile to various use cases. So definitely that's one. Two, I think in this day and age, we cannot get away without leveraging on AI to make things smarter. So leveraging on AI, it's not just at the downstream level where you talk about insights or analysis. It's also in the way we manage operation, right? AI to enable satellite operation so that we are more efficient and proficient in the way we do things. That's one fold. Thirdly, I think when it comes to edge computing, there's no way to run away from that approach. Getting more assets up in space, which is capable to downlink data very quickly or process data quickly, reduces that latency. So that edge computing phase would be something that we would be exploring for sure. And related to that topic also, inter-satellite relay, right? Also is another technology to reduce that latency. So in terms of technology, I think this would be the few frontiers that we'll be looking at. But as the world grows, I have been in this field for 20 years too. I have seen more inquiry with regards to environmental use case. So I would see that in the years to come, the ESG component in remote sensing would increase tremendously too. So yeah, I think the above would be my thoughts for the way ahead.
Thank you very much. I fully agree with you. 25 years ago, when I started my career in RESTEC, we provided the raw data to our customers. Now we are trying to provide services and information. And you talk about the insights. So now we move on to the insight. We will try to provide an insight for our customers. Okay, next, I'd like to invite Adrian from 3VG.
Yes, thank you. So for us, what we're really looking forward to seeing is more and more radar data. I mean, we're SAR data. We're dependent on that for INSAR applications. And there's Giorgio mentioned that there's new X-band satellites going up. There's small sats going up. There's some of the long wavelengths, and the ability to combine all of this data into something useful for users is really important. And I think all the panelists mentioned AI, and for us, we look at it, we will be investing a lot in AI, but to do that, we're going to be investing in people. So we still believe to take advantage of all the technology, we'll be making our big investments still into people over the next 10 to 20 years. So that's how we're looking forward to strengthening our company.
Thank you very much, Adrian. I'd like to tell you that we have some colleagues from JAXA here. So do you have any expectation to JAXA or ALOS series?
Sure. I'm looking forward to getting our hands on more ALOS 4 data and continue collaborating with them. The ALOS series is amazing, and we would like to continue. We'd like to get more access, of course.
Thank you very much, Adrian, from Canada, very late evening. And finally, I'd like to invite Giorgio from Rome.
Yeah, yes. On my side, the comment, of course, besides confirming what my present panelists told them, we believe that the three aspects would be considered. First of all, multiple assets, multiple satellite, constellation, more and more. Let me say I'm more than 60 years old. In the past, the challenge was to have a higher resolution. Now, let me say that this is not more the best important issue. The issue is to have timely information, more information during the day from satellites. For that scope, we believe in the future of federation of assets. We really look forward to cooperate with Japanese solution, with ALOS. We look forward to cooperate with the Thailand, the GISDA satellites, and to cooperate, of course, with hyperspectral constellation. This is the goal, I think, for us, to increase the timely We are now preparing a constellation as the Italian side, Leonardo, and we will implement the inter-satellite link between different satellites to increase the timely provision of the data. We are creating now the very important onboard capacity to quickly process data on board, as was said before, to transmit to customers, not just an image. Then last but not least, we believe in the cooperation, regional cooperation, like with RESTEC, to develop the market and to make this solution close to the customer. So this is what we are believing for that.
Thank you very much. We have already had we rely on the constellation of Cosmos Skymet and the other satellites of e-GEOS. So I am very looking forward to expanding our future collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is the end of panel discussion. I hope we provided a lot of information from all over the world, from Thailand, Singapore, and Rome, and Canada. So after this, we will have a reception, and we invited Dr. Alex Ko and Dr. Tanita. So I want you to join that reception to network with them. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.